over 46 acres in the north of Scotland for £270,000. But here's the twist. You don't just buy this, you become a Croft landlord. You get hill grazing shares and you have legal duties you must follow. So is this the ultimate Highland bargain or a legal minefield? That's what we're about to find out. Today we're heading to the north of Scotland to a place called Muie, between Rogart and Lairg, deep in the Highland crofting country. On paper this looks unbelievable. Over 46 acres, a traditional stone croft house, a large agricultural shed, hill grazing rights over 1,000 acres of common land, and all for offers in the region of £270,000. And interestingly, that's not offers over, which is normal for Scotland. But before you pack your bags and head for the Highlands, there are a few things you need to understand. This isn't just buying the land, you'll be purchasing the freehold and becoming a landlord for a registered croft. You'll inherit crofting duties, you'll need to actively use the land, and you'd be part of a sheep stock club with shared grazing rights. And the cottage, it's deemed uninhabitable, there's no home report, and it's not mortgageable. So this is not a turnkey move in to Scotland dream, but if you understand crofting and you want to live off the land in one of the most dramatic landscapes in Britain, this could be extraordinary. Let's take a look. So this has a total of 42 acres, part of which is croft and part of which is owned by this property. Again, you'd have to look into the full details on that, and I've talked about croft land in the past, but this is suggesting that you'd be the landlord of that croft, so you would own it, and people are renting part of that croft from you. So let's have a look at the photos firstly, and there is a video with this one. I won't show it now as part of my voiceover, but I will tag it on to the end of this, so if you want to have a look at more details of the property, there is a video that I'll add at the end. So again, like the others, stunning location, this in a valley in Scotland. This is quite far north. IV postcode is Inverness. We'll have a look at that in a second. But yeah, what a beautiful, stunning valley location. And here's your farmhouse and farm buildings. So internally, this doesn't look too bad. So you've got a radiator, you've got a log burner here in what looks like the lounge. As I say, we'll have a look at the video together later. So here is your property with a house here, and these are the various enclosures or fields with the various amounts of areas of land. Some of it looks very hilly and maybe inaccessible. Maybe get some sheep and mountain goats on there, but not much else. But yeah, you'd have to really do some looking into which of this is owned, which of it is croft land, and so on. Oh, here we go. So I wonder whether the blue is the owned and then the 17 acres is part of the croft land over there. But again, I really love the setting of this place. Yeah, so 17.25 acres of the total is looks like it's the croft land here. So here's the house with a nice little I want to call it enclosed veranda, or a conservatory, I guess, on the front, but not sure what state of repair that's in. Again, decent enough looking roof to this with some windows in the roof. And here's your land plan. Again, stunning views out of these rooms. Nice big window here. Here's part of your farm buildings. There's lovely old tractors around and about. So yeah, these barns don't look in too bad a state really either. Another long view here. I'd like to see some more photos internally in the house. Maybe that will come in the video. But obviously they're trying to sell this on the basis of the setting and the land, because there's lots of photos of that, which I love to see. But as I say, I think if I was going to take a trip up to Inverness, I'd want to see a bit more detail or a bit more. Oh, here's some internal photos. I'll stop waffling on, James. But yeah, some internals of upstairs. So as I said, you've got these windows. So parts of this will be limited headroom. There's some evidence of water spots potentially there. So again, make sure you get a good survey on something like this. More shots internally. One of the bedrooms upstairs. And a kitchen. Oh, okay, that's quite good. Again, needs a complete refurbishment. Let's just have a quick look. So the floor plan is actually the land plan that we had a look at as part of the photos. There's no floor plan of the actual house here, which is a shame. But yeah, its offers over. Oh, sorry, it says offers in the region of 270,000. I've only just spotted that, which is quite unusual for Scotland. So maybe maybe it isn't offers over. You can get a real bargain here. So let's just see what it says about this in terms of the opportunity to purchase the freehold and become landlords of a vacant croft. This small holding comprises of 29 acres of croft land, along with 17.5 acres of apportionment and 2 shares in the hill shares. So in total 46 acres. So the land as a traditional cottage in need of repair and a large agricultural building. And inquiry should be in consultation with the Scottish solicitor dealing with crofting matters. Yeah, so I think you really need to understand what this means to be buying the freehold and being a landlord of a croft, and what the difference is between the two types of land that you have here. And it says that it is on the hillside between Rogart and Lairg in the heart of Sutherland, just 9 miles west of the A9. We'll have a look at that on the plan in a second. And the hill shares you've got access to 1,000 acres of common grazing. Here's the points I was talking about crofting. So it says the duties are to be a resident on or within 32 kilometres of your croft, a duty to cultivate and maintain your croft and put it to another purposeful use, and a duty not to misuse or neglect your croft. I've talked about that in another video. But again, when you're buying something like this, you really need to understand what you're buying and get professional advice. So just having a closer look at the location, and I'm really hoping the agents have located this in the right place. But we will zoom out a little bit just so that we can really understand where this is in the north of Scotland. So it's not as far north as another one I was looking at the other day, but this is still within the north of Scotland, and it's actually quite a bit further north than Inverness, although it's got an IV postcode. And if we zoom in here, so yeah, it talks about the A9 in terms of that being the kind of main access road along the coast. But yeah, it is a pretty remote location. There's not an awful lot of civilization or amenities nearby, but beautiful, stunning location. We'll have a closer look, and there are some holiday lets, and there's obviously a coach business and a podiatrist there. So there are some other people around. Maybe that's located within the overall location, but I don't want to guess now which is the actual farm. But let's just say that it's in this locale. It seems to be within that area that they talked about in the description. But yeah, I think that's really interesting. And as I've just noticed that says offers in the region of £270,000. That seems incredible value for all that land, a beautiful setting. But yeah, pretty remote location in the north of Scotland. So here's the question. Is £270,000 fair for 46 acres in the Highlands? Even with the crofting rules, a derelict cottage, I think derelict's a bit over the top, and residency obligations. For the right buyer, someone who genuinely wants to farm, have a croft and live this lifestyle, this could be an incredible opportunity. Now let's watch the agent's video in full so you can see the landscape and the buildings properly, because honestly the views might be the strongest selling point of all. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share it with anyone dreaming of a countryside escape. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss any future dream smallholdings. You can find details of all the properties featured at smallholdingfarms.co.uk. There's a link on the channel page. See you in the next one.